right, friends. Welcome to another episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
Jason, my friend, what are we talking about this week?
Okay, Brian, you're in line to get something from a player. You're in line, you're waiting in line. It's your turn to get something from a player. Are you getting a picture with the player or a signed card, hat? What are you doing? What are you collecting?
So I have to choose. That's what I'm here. I have to choose.
You're walking up. What are you?
I can't be one of those greedy fans. Like, no. Hey, I want everything. No.
Give me a picture and a signature. That's lame. No.
I like signatures. I have to go towards the signature side. Yeah. Okay. Me being a media guy who makes videos, I take way too many pictures. I have to buy all this extra cloud storage space. I thought it would be a pick, but I have to say, my life, the only signatures that I have, that I've collected, I only have a couple, but I think they're more meaningful versus the picture. I don't know. That's why I'm.
So what do you have the signature on? Paper, a napkin, a card?
I have Raleigh Fingers. You remember the great Raleigh Fingers? Great mustache. He's a reliever, side armor. Back in the 70s, early 80s. I got a signed baseball from Raleigh Fingers, and it was a connection through work, believe it or not. I was an assistant principal, and I was helping this young kid through a tough time, little kindergartner, and mom come in, all this kind of stuff. It took a while, and then towards the end of the school year, she goes, "Thanks for working with them. And oh, by the way, here's a signed baseball from Raleigh's Fingers. He's my uncle or something." So I was like, because she saw I was a baseball fan because I had a few gloves in my office.
Yes.
Anyway, and then an older baseball player by the name of Charlie Metro played back in the 50s, I believe. Again, just kind of passing our paths crossed when I worked at a certain school building, and we got to talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, I used to play. Here's my book, signed book." So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's really all I got. But it is pretty cool with the signature, especially when you got some kind of maybe angle to who they are. That was pretty nice. It's not like I bought a signature down through eBay or down at the local baseball card shop or something. So maybe that's why I'm choosing signature. What's your choice?
Well, my choice would be a picture. And I would want a picture because I just like to look back at it and go, just kind of reflect on that and go, that's cool. I was with that person. Signatures to me seem to be just scribbled just quickly and I don't know. Of course, I will tell you in full disclosure, I don't really have any signatures and I don't really have any pictures with anyone because I'm not one to stand in line and go down and do that. I'm not really someone who really would need that, though. Right. I will tell you, I do love the meet and greets kind of. We were at Coors Field, going down there and, you could get signatures or pictures of players, and we're walking around, and that was very fun. And that, I've done that with you. And Jason Giambi, man, he was just walking around. He was not playing that day, and he could, he was just having a good time down there. I would have loved. I don't think I did it. I don't know. I didn't have the, even that. I think we were just walking around, enjoying looking at the players really close and interacting with people. But I would have liked to have had a picture with Jason Giambi. I kind of wish I would have done that.
Right.
It would have been a funny story.
Would have been hilarious because we still laugh about that today because, everyone else has got they're clean, they're showered, they're all fresh and tight. He looked like he just dragged himself in from partying all night, man. Yeah. Bloodshot eyes, but he was looking pretty rough.
Little shadow there.
Yeah, but he was super cool with the fans. I do have to say that.
And he's a great player.
Yeah,
great
he's a
player.
great player, but yeah,
Plays for us.
he just looked like he kind of forgot about fan day, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, that's what makes it so funny, because that would have been great. But yeah, I noticed that. I noticed you and I we just enjoyed the atmosphere.
Right.
We did neither. We didn't get signatures or
Yeah.
pictures that day.
No.
What was wrong with us, Jason? Why did
I
we?
don't know. I think, but I really, really wish I would have done it now. I really,
Right,
especially Jason, he was a favorite player at the time.
right,
And just, they were just laughing. Maybe we didn't want to go up to him because we're like,
right.
what, but it just would have been good. But see the story with it, see with the signature, but you had a good story with your signature too. So really, it's whatever your
Well,
interest is would
I
be
think if
one
you
or
could
the
ever
other.
double dip, double dip. You
Oh,
know,
of course, but that seems so
seems so
pushy.
and I think
So pushy.
that's my whole thing is I grew up, and I didn't go all the time, but growing up in Arizona, especially when I was in high school or college, spring training games. And back in those days, uh, there's no such thing as a cell phone. The closest thing you had to a portable camera, remember those little, uh, turn the knob travel cameras, click, click, click,
Hmm.
or you had a 35 millimeter film camera. And a lot of people just didn't drag that stuff to the ballpark. And so you got signatures back in the day, and
Yes,
the
yes.
players were way more approachable back then because they were, wasn't a big deal. No one overpaid for spring training tickets, and you were lucky on some days to have 1,000 people there, and all the big names are right there next to the fence. And so I just got kind of used to that. It's like, I don't really need the signature, but hey, there's Rod Carew. Hey, well, he's right there. And, so that was just kind of a thing that, this stardom seemed a lot more approachable when I was younger, and
Mm,
just didn't really feel like you needed signatures from anybody. There was always kids. Don't get me wrong. But it was kids. It wasn't the 35-year-old dude pushing his way
yes,
in trying to get his
yes.
signature. It's just kids,
Because now it's
right?
the get it and sell it.
Right.
Like, I know that's rough. That's like, we
Yeah.
talked about in our past podcast a couple
Right.
episodes about when do you bring a glove to the
Right.
ballpark?
Mm-hmm.
When, how long do you wear? I guess it depends on the sport, like the jersey. And
Right.
then also, how old is too old to get in line for a picture or a thing? Maybe that's what we felt like. We were
Right.
down the course field. We're like, you know what?
We'll leave it for the families, the kids. Right. That's probably exactly how we were thinking. It's just
Yeah.
at that time we
So,
had our educator hat on,
yeah,
not
that's what
our
it was.
fan hat on. And,
Oh, I was geeking out looking being close to them. Really being close to them and just seeing them interact with people was actually pretty great. It was like, so
right.
it was on a course field.
Mm-hmm.
There's many ways. You either have the streams where they come down and you're in a line. You just go to the rotating line. This thing, it was like the players were all in the infield and we were all in the grass,
Right.
and they were just walking around and you could kind of
Right.
wait, get their
Mm-hmm.
attention. So they were walking and talking with each other kind of in between. So
Right.
it was a good way to do it, I thought, actually.
Right. Right. Well, you know, I love those days. Now with all the social media and everyone's got a cell phone, and I guess you could just snap a pic now pretty easily. I guess that's the advantage of the modern day. If you're the pic guy, you could just photobomb some pro player at any given time, right? So
Right.
why not? I think that would be cool. And the question is now, even security even seems tighter than ever. Um,
Yep.
when would you do that? How would you get signatures or pics of players nowadays? How would you do it?
Well, of course, for baseball, I'll say this: like before, I was just at course field, so during batting practice and right after, they'll have certain players who it's their turn. They'll go
I
up
got you.
and they'll be on section 314 or
Mm,
114, not three, 114, say, and you just start a line. You go down And you just get it signed and you go back up the steps. Next person, next.
Oh.
It's like a train. That's what I was talking
Uh-huh.
about. So you have that now, at least in baseball, as opposed to it was a fan fest. It was a game, part of the game, and they just came out before the game that we did, or was it after? I'm trying to remember now.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a good way. I'm trying to think for football. I know they're out practicing, and if you go down low, you can do the same thing, but it's not as easy. Spring training tends to be more the time to get those. That's why you go to the spring training football games and practices, because once again, they have players
Right.
who it's their turn. Or, like I'm in Denver, so Bo Nix, hey, we just won. He'd run around the
Mm-hmm.
stadium, actually
Right.
run around, and or stop occasionally. Some players would do that too after a win. They run on a whim. They're just like, hey man,
Right.
we just won. I'm high. I'm gonna go
Right.
sign some autographs of people.
Sure. Right.
And I think there's that time too.
So you kind of have to know. You have to know the schedules, I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You kind of have to know when they're, at what times they're approachable, either pre-game, post-game kind of thing. And don't you think it's mostly special events too? Like maybe, hey, let's pay the extra cash and go to fan day,
Yep.
or find that ticket, or the connections. I do remember this, and I'm not a huge football fan, but I got to go to a Broncos game many years ago. I'd say this is 15 years ago, and it was a connection of a connection, and that connection of a connection person said, "Hey, I have access to the tunnel after the game. Go down." And this is the era of Peyton Manning. I think who was it? John Fox was the coach.
Yes.
Remember that guy? And who was the defensive dude at the time? He's the one that
Von Miller.
Yeah, Vaughn was standing there. That was just a situation where I was like starstruck. And
dude, you were down there. You saw those guys. I didn't even know this.
I never said that. Oh
no.
Yeah. Well, anyway, a connection of a connection kind of thing. And I'm standing down in the tunnel, and I was overwhelmed. I didn't really know how to act. And, it's like, I think I might have taken one picture, but Vaughn, totally being Vaughn, standing there, signing autographs, doing media. And people are asking, hey, where's Peyton at? Where's Peyton? They're like, nope, he goes straight to the locker room to review film. He was a total I'm going to sit down. Yeah, after the game, sit down, just goes through the whole game, his whole performance. Then he does, media afterwards. And then I just remember John Fox, the coach, he had his luxury car parked down in the tunnel over there. And all of a sudden he's fresh in the suit. He's done with the game. I think he's already did his press conference thing. He's all cleaned up. He's in his luxury car, drives out of the tunnel. I'm like, wow, he's gone. I mean, Bond's still doing Bond stuff. And then that rolled into, because we have such good access, now we're just going to go hang with the players. The players have their own parking lot.
What?
So at Mile High, they have their own parking lot. It's all fenced off. It's all secure. And I just remember it was in the evening now. So after they all kind of go to their locker room, do whatever they need to do, they all come out and tailgate in the parking lot. And I just remember walking around just talking to people. So it's bizarre. It was very bizarre. And they're all very cool. I have to say, football players are probably less diva-ish than I would say because, one, they're very big teams. They're 50, 60 dudes,
Right.
And, I just remember going around, and I'm trying to think of who was the assistant coach at that time. I just didn't talk to him. Oh man, why is that dropping?
He became the
head coach of San Diego.
The Raiders.
But
I know
the point is, they have their own culture. They like to hang out, but because I had a connection of a connection, I had this access and I was totally unprepared. That's where I was going with this story. I could have gotten signature after signature after signature, but I, I, I just love that privilege at that time. I tried not to mess it up, be that dude. Cause I saw no one else getting autographs, right? I'm looking around, even down in the tunnel, once they kind of got done with the media, it's like no one else is, asking for weirdness. And so I was just trying to be cool, as Jason says. Right. I'm just trying to be cool.
Well, dude, that totally, you just took it to another level over pictures and signatures. You just went to DEFCON 10 there. Hanging out, being around them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hanging out.
I would take that over any signature or picture. Just kind of the experience.
It's nothing I can really hang on a wall or sell, on eBay. But the point is it was unexpected, and you just kind of soak it in the moment. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of respect for NFL players after that, because it kind of reminds me of like, Jason and Kelt, it's like they seem approachable guys. And that's the way it was. I just felt everyone. So here comes Vaughn. He's got a brand new Camaro. He comes rolling into the parking lot, stereo thumping. Everyone gathers around, looks at his new car. Yeah, they're just doing guy stuff, just talking. It was just families and team members. That was it.
And you.
Yeah, me. Right. Who's this guy?
Yeah, what? Tell me you're wearing some Bronco orange or something. Dear God, I don't know. You like to be kind of contrarian sometimes.
Right. I don't think I had it. I think I had a coat on. That was it. I don't know. But I was blending in, Jason.
You did it. You stayed. You didn't get kicked out.
Right.
And so that's better than any, picture and signature that you got. I think that's dope. But people collect either pictures like that. They'll put it up. The infamous going to my study or my man cave and see pictures of me with people.
Right.
Or you have your autographed jerseys, autographed hats.
Right. 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 It's pretty funny, but anyway, dude, that's my closest to stardom right there. So, and I got nothing out of it besides maybe a picture or two somewhere. So,
well, here's my other follow-up. People collect these things. Is there anything you collect, Brian? Anything that you collect? We've touched on it on other podcasts about what.
Yeah.
I think I know what you might say, but I don't know if something's changed.
I was
an Arkansas boy. Anything that's hit you?
When I was a kid, of course, the cards came in, blah, blah, blah. I think I actually wound up giving most of those cards to your son, Ryan, at one point. But I really switched over to ball gloves there for, it was a good 20 years. And the reason why, I remember I was in college, I'm dirt poor in college. And for some reason, we had to go to a secondhand store. I think we were buying furniture. I mean, you're working a job or two, you're trying to get through college. And so, we just bought used things. And I happened to go through the sports. And down in Arizona, there's a secondhand kind of retail chain called Desiree Industries. So it'd be like your Goodwill, right? But they're massive, like big stores. They're around the valley of Phoenix. And I walked in and saw this pile of gloves, started looking at them going, whoa, I found a 1930s ball glove, and back then, again, you got no internet. So now I'm like searching in libraries for pictures of gloves, out of books or magazines. I'm trying to identify this glove. And so that kind of hooked me. And then anytime we went back to used stores, no matter what, kind of thrift stores, I just kind of went through the glove pile. And before I know it, 10 years later, I got like 30 gloves. And
did you? You had 30 at one time?
Yeah. So they're all just different eras. And some were older. A lot of them are from like the 50s and 60s. You could find those, because think of this in the 90s, right? houses start to change over, generations move on, things hit the garage sale pile, those kinds of things. And you can pick up a lot of ball gloves because leather starts to get a little crispy.
Yep.
And so before it's deteriorated, people are like, well, let's donate it. And so yeah, I picked up a lot. I'd recondition them. And so I had this bright idea. I don't know if you remember this when we used to work together there, to hang up a few in my office, different offices and classroom. And what killed it for me is, I'm sitting there talking to, I don't know, some instructional coach or somebody, and they're like, can always tell it's your office because it smells, what'd she say? It smells manly. But, and I said, what does that mean? She goes, well, it just smells like old leather. And I'm like, oh, I didn't notice it, you know? Sure. So the collections came down, and then I kind of went through them like, you know, that's a collection you have to maintain. You know, it's like cards, you know, baseball cards, as long as you put them in a good box and you don't bend the corners, they stay pretty good, right?
Right.
Leather's a totally different thing to collect, and it does have a funk to it. Each glove has a different funk to it, and then they can kind of, you know, if you don't take care of them right, they'll kind of start to get weird, or they'll collect bugs. So yeah, they're their own thing.
Collect bugs.
So I had to just keep whittling the pile down. So I think today I'm down to like 2 gloves from that entire collection. So, and they're my old ones, you know, 1920s to 1930s. So those are the 2 gloves I got.
Okay. Well, I was more traditional cards.
Yeah.
1977, I was in 3rd or maybe 5th grade in Maine, and saw Star Wars, A New Hope, and they came out with Star Wars cards, and I loved collecting those. That was my first real thing that I collected, other than marbles. Marbles is also another thing I collected. I still have the marbles that I had as a kid, because in Maine, we'd have this thing where we would all play marbles. The whole school would play that, and I still have the marbles from that time, believe it or not. So marbles and cards, and then they also had Marvel, you know, the Hulk. I had a bunch of Hulk cards, you know, and we trade with our friends and stuff. And then, of course, baseball cards and football cards. I had a bunch of those. Love those. And now I think I'm more into still cards, but they're like games. I'm playing this game, Magic the Gathering. Any listeners out there? And you collect cards for that too to play. So that's kind of now a collecting. So I guess mine would still be cards.
Now, if I'm hearing you right, you got multiple collections of different things, even to this day.
Well, I still have the old marbles. I don't collect marbles still, but I hold on to those.
Right. So old marble
cards.
Right.
Cards have been a constant. I've always had some kind of cards. And of course, we've talked before. I got like, you know, I've had many hats, baseball caps, and then also I have like 5 kayaks, and there's only 2 of us, and I have like 9 bikes, and there's me. So I don't know if that's a collection. We've talked about that a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I guess now that, you know, I'm knocking on 60 here in a couple of years. I kind of look at, if I'm going to collect something, is it worth anything to pass on to my kids, you know? Or is it just junk I'm collecting because I like it? And I think that kind of helped me over the last decade really kind of get rid of stuff. Like, I don't really, you know, because it's easy to collect a lot. You know, I collect tools, but I also use tools. But I don't view it as like an investment or something I want to keep, you know, to pass on. So yeah, the only real thing I have, I got 2 things. I got coins. My grandpa.
That out there. Okay.
Yeah, my grandpa got me started with that. He handed me some pretty cool old coins back in the 70s, and so I collected, you know, for a while here and there. You know, I was a kid that went through his change, you know, like, hey, any rare coins in my change when change was a thing. Right. But I've just kept on to that once in a while. I will come across, I don't know, a silver dollar or something and buy it. It's very rare. I don't think I bought a coin in a couple of years, but yeah. And then these 2 old baseball gloves, if I can keep them conditioned and stuff, they're knocking on 100 years old here pretty soon.
Wow.
So if I keep them in good condition and preserve them, those 2 items I talked about could be passed on to the next generations. My bikes, no. Tools, no. Because, it's stuff you use, it wears out.
Old hats?
Old hats, no. Hat? No one wants my old hats, especially living in Arkansas after you use them. So
unless it was signed, a picture,
right.
You could pass down a picture.
I still have
a picture of you would be dope. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I still have that hat worn by Nolan Arenado, not signed, but according to the guy we bought it from down at Coors Field.
This is the sweat.
Right. So, but I have to tell you, man, I use that hat. I still have it, but it's ragged. It's retired. Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to get that. Well, it has the funk to it. You know how hats go. You wear them for 10 years on and off. It's like, it's got a funk to it. Never cleans out. And then things get brittle, it's just, there's only so many times you can wash something and anyway, especially wool hats back in the day.
Yes, wool hats.
Oh yeah. So you passing on anything like the comics, man, those
comics, my brother did the comics and now he gave, my son Ryan, his comics to collect. They were the 1970s, 80s.
Right.
Early 2000 runs. So actually, as I sit here, I'm looking at them right here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 boxes of comics staring at me. But Brent held on to my dad's forever and then finally decided to sell those. But no, I don't really collect comics. That's Ryan's thing now. So really, there's really nothing me either. No one wants my kayaks. No one wants that. So nothing of good
nothing of value to pass on, right?
Yeah, but maybe a signature of someone cool would be.
So well, there you go.
I should probably go signature rather than a picture.
Okay. But, it's funny. You go to like frame shops and stuff, and people bring their signed jerseys into a frame shop and they put it, behind glass in a black walnut frame and they got it hanging on their wall of their man cave. You and I are not at that level, obviously.
No.
Right. But hey, it's fun. But here's the ultimate though. Say you're not a tennis fan, right? Golf fan or anything like that. But Scotty Scheffler, the biggest golfer in the world, just happens to be sitting in the restaurant you're sitting at, or you bypass him in the airport. Would you, being a non-fan, still get a picture of somebody famous?
Even if I was a fan, I do not think I would go up to them and go, "Hey, can I get a picture, autograph?" I do not think I would do that. Just seeing him and having the story of, I was in the airport and I saw Scotty, that to me would be cool.
Would you do the silent, get your iPhone out and, and just like, walk away? No. Wow.
No.
See, I think it's just, we're on the older end of Gen X.
Wait, what would you do? You didn't say.
I'm torn these days, my whole life I've been like, that's so-and-so. Just keep moving. Now I'd probably just take the picture, not with me in it, just as I'm walking by. Oh yeah, that's someone famous. Walk away, right? Okay. Just so that I can tell a story about it later. Right. I don't know. Would I lean in and do a selfie? I don't know. I'm going to have to wait and see on that. See if I find anybody in an airport that's famous or
there you walking go. Down you are traveling, man. You are traveling a bunch.
So I don't know. It's like, I don't watch soccer. I'm watching the World Cup right now. But if I saw Messi, getting on his private jet somewhere, would I, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's just our generation. It's like we didn't do it as kids. So it's not something I thought about. It's kind of like my Denver Broncos story. I just didn't even think about it, I'm just hanging. And that coach, by the way, is Mike McCoy. So
oh yes, he was.
yeah, so I'm a Mike
Tebow
McCoy fan, even though it's been a little rough for him trying to be
cool?
head coaches.
Was he cool?
It's
too?
just so cool. Him and his wife. I mean, they're a true.
Dude, this connection. You're
come
not
up
telling
through
me
the
this
ranks.
connection,
Come up through the ranks.
Gosh.
You know, they're just a football family, and it was very cool. So I stood there and talked to him and his wife for at least a half an hour.
That's crazy. Okay,
yeah.
This story keeps unpeeling like an onion. First you're hanging, then now you're talking to McCoy.
Right.
It was Norv Turner. No, not Norv Turner. It was this other guy, the defensive coach who went on to become the Raiders. Talk to him.
Right. Hey, but you know, it's just sometimes life just throws you little bones once in a while, right?
Sure. Well, and also you learn things that you did not know.
Right.
About someone.
Right.
Like that story.
Yeah. I know. We're like best friends, and I can't believe I've never told you that. It's just, maybe it's like surreal. I'm like, hey, did that really happen? I don't think that really happened. So anyway, I will go find picture proof though for you.
Well, you don't have to. I believe it. Well, the fact you're all, saying it was Jack Del Rio. Did you ever remember that guy? He kind of left under not good.
Yeah,
it was kind of lame.
He kind of went to every team, it seemed like, and tried and did okay, but never he was never one of those coaches that could close the deal.
That's another podcast. Talk about him and others.
Yeah. But guess what, Jason?
What?
Hey, we're out of time, man. Hey, this was a good one. Hey, it's a lot of fun. That was a great topic. Love it. Well, friends, until next time, you're listening to Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
And, hey, what would you do? Would you be the person that gets a signature or a picture? Maybe both or none? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us. Bye.